For all the new players, I'd only suggest that you try to understand other people, try to learn empathy. And this to me is what can make a really talented, great player an amazing teammate to have.
One of the youngest competitive Horn players at the time, N0tail was known for his solo mid-role. The switch from Horn to Dota came when Fnatic decided that its competitive Horn team would now play Dota instead. While Era, N0tail and Fly initially struggled to understand the game while it was in beta, they'd quickly get better and find two other people to play with, Hani and Trixie. The results were lukewarm in 2012, with only a few first place finishes. They had strong results towards the end of the year, where they edged out N0tail in the Thor Open tournament.
Does get netted in, reverse polarity coming out of Hani. He's gonna skewer him back into Era, and a crit instantly kills 3 heroes from N0tail. Loda dies before he gets to do anything. 3,000 damage. And Admiral Bulldog dies as well, and N0tail calls the good game.
N0tail was the team of Loda, S4, Ake, Admiral Bulldog and Eternal Envy, known for consistently beating out veterans like Na'Vi, Mousesports and Empire. Along with a number of top 4 finishes in the first quarter of 2013, which strengthened the bond between N0tail and Fly, who at this point had played with each other for over 4 years. While the team saw a fair bit of success towards the start, they began to stumble in the later half of 2013 and 2014. A string of poor results saw N0tail and Fly depart from the roster to join the newly formed, star-studded lineup of Team Secret. Expectations were high from this new lineup, comprised of veterans like S4, KuroKy and Puppey. However, after a string of moderate results, they were booted from the team by Captain Puppey. For the first time in 6 years, they'd go their separate ways as N0tail looked towards Cloud9 and Fly played with a small pickup team known as Meepond and later with Complexity. Fly had a dreadful season. His best result in the year was the 9th to 12th place finish at TI5 with Complexity. On the other side too, N0tail had a disappointing run. After a poor showing at the International, Cloud9 released the squad. With both N0tail and Fly being free agents after TI5, they decided to come back together and form a roster of their own. The result? Monkey business. The lineup comprised of European pub star Miracle, who was number 1 on the EU leaderboards at the time, alongside the Danish player Crit and the former Horn player Moon Meander. After assembling the lineup, Monkey Business got off to a hot start with a 3rd place finish at the Joint Dota MLG Pro League Finals.
It's everything. 27-8. They got 1 kill in exchange for like 7. And Goretz is coming back to look around to be the 8th. And GG is going to be called before that can happen. Always want to fly. Says it's over.
Following their success, Monkey Business acquired sponsorship from Hitbox and rebranded to OG, and qualified for Valve's first ever Dota 2 major held in Frankfurt. OG was off to a shaky start at the Frankfurt major. However, the duo was resilient and persevered, and while everyone doubted OG's potential, N0tail and Fly kept the team together. The underdogs managed to make it all the way to the lower bracket finals, defeating teams like eHome, Virtus.pro and TI5 grand finalists CDEC Gaming. Facing off against EG proved to be a difficult task as they initially tied the series 1-1.
Oh, he's not even gonna die. He lives! They just can't get him. And Moon ends this game 14-2 and 13.
However, they bagged the win and managed to make it all the way to the grand finals, where they faced the EU giant, Team Secret. The games that ensued were not easy. Secret did start to gain momentum in game number 3, where they struck back in similar fashion.
This is when I ask the question, is OG distributing their resources evenly?
Although OG lost game 3, they struck back in game 4 with a vengeance. Secret picked Alchemist, and OG responded by dual laning mid with Lich as a counter to the Alch.
The Brewlings, they've only got another 4 seconds left of it, maybe enough time. It's Envy also dies to the Doombringer. Now Brewmaster N0tail back into his normal form. The Nightmare will keep him here for now. but there's really no...
They succeeded, with Miracle Shadow Fiend out-farming Viha's Alchemist, leading to Secret's ultimate defeat at the hands of OG.
Too much damage. OG have got it. They've got the TG out from Secret. OG, they fight all the way through the lower bracket and will be claimed the champions of the first ever Dota 2 major live here in Frankfurt.
N0tail and Fly had their revenge. OG gained a number of fans that day. While they had their ups and downs, the performance at Valve Majors was unparalleled, winning 2 out of a total of 3. At TI6, the boys in green got off to a great start, topping the group. However, their confidence got the better of them as they lost to MVP Phoenix in the upper bracket, a team they had utterly demolished at the previous major.
And GG, well played. MVP have trashed the 2-time major winners. The guys who are hoping to put a TI win under their belt.
Their bleeding would not stop there, however. While dropping down to the lower bracket, they would lose out to TNC Gaming, who under the guidance of Demon would finish 7th to 8th, while N0tail and Fly once again finished 9th to 12th.
Done it! The impossible! 2-time major winners! You are gone! The Filipinos have eliminated OG! TNC have done it!
It was time for another roster shuffle, getting S4 to join them in the offlane role alongside Jerax and Anna. Their streak of winning the majors would continue, however, so would the streak of a disappointing finish at TI7. Anna went on to leave the team, and they managed to win only one tournament for the entire duration between TI7 and TI8, with both Resolution and PyCat making short-lived appearances as a part of the OG roster. After a disappointing year, the team's captain and co-founder Fly announced his departure from the team along with S4. Both players moved to Evil Geniuses a mere 2 months before the International 8. The sudden departure of his longtime friend Fly took N0tail and the whole world by surprise.
We were both young, or same age, and I guess we got tossed into this what was initially just a game. Like, we were just playing the same game, then we got kind of thrown into what was like the beginning of esports and this whole movement, and we both started the same place, same time.
N0tail was left flabbergasted as OG was forced to withdraw from the China Super Major due to the shuffle, picking up the Finnish pub star Topson along with Anna, who rejoined the team right before TI. Seb would once again step in to play on the team, this time in the offlane role. Here, both players' resolve would be truly tested.
OG had a lot of bitterness towards us. I don't know why. I feel like there's obviously no villain in this story. Like, 2 teams came out bitter, but
This next match, I think a lot of people are looking forward.
The mood here is both electric and somber.
The tension in the air was palpable, as the former best friends were all set to face each other in a battle for upper bracket survival. OG managed to win the first game convincingly on the back of Topson's Invoker and Anna's Drow Ranger. The game lasted 32 minutes and they won with a respectable score of 36 to 29, with N0tail taking one for the team with 14 deaths on his Nature's Prophet. Game 3 was where N0tail would prove that the meta and the score are irrelevant in the face of his drive to win. Sumail had a monstrous performance on Tiny, which saw him getting kill after kill, and it seemed that OG couldn't stop the Stone Giant. While OG were able to contest Roshan from EG and prevent them from taking it for free, they incurred heavy losses themselves.
It's going to come out straight away here for Grit. Sumail, TG's still alive for now. Anna getting tossed up, tossed back. Sumail, he's going to stand up and set. Back into the roost.
EG would still manage to get the Aegis, however, and along with it, the first set of barracks.
Tried to dodge it off, does manage to back off. TG actually gets tossed in by Sumail there. Oh!
After killing off 5 heroes, OG secured themselves the Roshan kill and destroyed EG's bottom barracks. EG never recovered from the blow. Anna's Spectre was just too strong for EG to deal with, and after 53 grueling minutes, N0tail had his revenge.
GG's cool. OG win is knocking EG down to the lower bracket. OG will move one step closer to the Aegis.
Fly and EG were knocked out of the International with a 3rd place finish.
Leaving OG has gave them room for what they needed. It's definitely better for both sides. In the end, I made it the farthest I've ever made it in TI, so you know, I'm having fun while I'm playing, so that's a good thing.
Whereas OG went on to win the tournament in a thrilling best of 5. Winning TI-8 was truly a moment of catharsis for N0tail. He had achieved his lifelong dream in the most satisfying way possible. It's uncertain whether their paths will cross again, and when they will, it will be one hell of a show.